Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Beach Injury Lawyers. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. We're getting back to the basics today with the Beach Injury Lawyers, Will and Greg. Who are you? What do you do?
We were laughing about that a minute ago. So my wife and I went to a restaurant, and the waiter kind of looked at me and he goes, "I've seen you on TV, haven't I?" I said, yeah, actually, you have. And then he said, "What do you do?" So I started laughing, and I thought, we're doing a really bad job of messaging. So this is who we are. I'm Greg Sloan. I'm a lawyer. I'm actually a personal injury lawyer here in Myrtle Beach, and I'm with Beach Injury Lawyers. And this is my partner, Will Parker.
So Beach Injury Lawyers.
So, I have been practicing since 1996, and I've done nothing but personal injury my entire career. So I like to think I've gotten decent at it. And Will is the same way. You have practiced nothing but personal injury law as well.
Correct.
So
Since 2006, all of it here along the Grand Strand. The difference between Greg and I, well, there's many differences, but
I'm better looking.
One, I graduated in 95, anyway, from high school, and you were practicing law the next year. But one of the differences is Greg has experience on the defense side, which is very helpful.
I was a confused person, so
Okay.
I started
Let's get into
off.
that.
Yeah, I started off as a plaintiff's lawyer, and I loved it. And then for a number of reasons, I went and worked at a defense firm, and it was a big defense firm with multiple offices, different states, and I actually did a lot of railroad work when I was on the defense side. But it's kind of like getting back to your roots. It's just I love being a plaintiff's lawyer. Being the defense attorney was a job, but being a plaintiff's lawyer is more of it's kind of a calling. I mean, you got to like what you're doing if you're a plaintiff's lawyer, because it's everybody's looking to you for help. Every client who comes to us is in, they have a problem, and our firm, we're very blessed in that we don't take all the cases that come in the door, so we choose which cases that we want to take, and we take those where people have some pretty serious problems, and you better be ready to, to be there for them 24/7.
I like that you said it was a calling.
I think it is a calling, yep. For those who don't know, I did lose my father. We were in an accident when I was 12 years old, and he passed away. I was very, very, very fortunate to survive. I consider it, a miracle. But there's a lot of different personal injury firms in this area. There's a lot of personal injury firms, all across the country. You can tell by the advertising, which we'll talk about later. But we've taken an approach of trying to be very personable. It's very intentional. Everything from our logo, which is bright and and happy, and you go to our office and
laid back.
A lot of people look at it as they say they feel like it's very home, kind of like home, when and all these things are intentional. I remember taking a hospitality class on the Ritz-Carlton and how they do things, and every time, every impression is a first impression, and we sort of treat it that way. We talk to every client on the phone. A lot of firms have a gatekeeper to keep the clients away from the attorneys. We don't do that. We try to actually talk to our clients, and that's one of the things I think that makes us different than the rest.
I mean, literally, if you call, it doesn't matter. Again, we only do personal injury cases, but if you call with a criminal case or a family case or whatever the case may be, we're still going to talk to you.
Yeah.
We're going to say hi to you. We're going to tell you, well, we're really sorry that we can't do it. We know some great lawyers that can handle it, but we're still going to talk to you.
I spent an hour and a half this morning on helping someone find a criminal lawyer who's a former client, but and some people consider that wasted time. I look at it as just what I'm supposed to do, the right thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I like this reintroduction, guys. We're going to keep the ball rolling, but right after the break, we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of lawyer advertising. I have a lot to learn. Welcome back to Living Local Carolina. We're talking about advertising when you're a lawyer with the beach injury lawyers. This is a bit meta, don't you think? We're talking about this while doing an
because
advertisement.
exactly. I mean, we're doing advertising now, but lawyers got to be really careful. And South Carolina is unique in that we really have some strong advertising rules that lawyers have to abide by. I was in Chicago a couple of months ago, and one evening I was in the hotel room. I turned on the television, and I saw ads for the hammer, the strong arm. There was a guy, on computer animated. He's flying across the road with this huge Thor hammer, smashing the front of a truck. I'm thinking, oh my heavens. But you can't do that in South Carolina. There are no hammers or strong arms or anything like that because our Supreme Court strictly prohibits that. There's also some other things that lawyers need to be careful with. We are beach injury lawyers, okay, plural. All right. Well, in order to have lawyers, you have to have more than one attorney.
Okay.
But you would be surprised that there are firms where it's a law group, lawyers, John Doe and Associates, and there's just John Doe, and the group only consists of one person.
Interesting.
Well, you can't do that. You can't do that. So, and there's some other interesting advertising rules.
Here's the premise, the rules of professional conduct, which guides us. 7.2 handles advertising, and it's just not to be misleading. So, like if you say law group and you have one attorney, well, that can be misleading. You can't name yourself something like Myrtle Beach Law Firm because it would mislead, like you have some connection with the city of Myrtle Beach or something. So notice you don't hear those kind of things. We're on the, beach injury lawyers covers.
It's very vague. It could be any beach.
Coastal law.
Yeah.
Those are fine, but you can't get overly specific. You also can't say things like, at least in the personal injury field, you can't say that you're an expert. You can't say you specialize in. You can't say you're the best. Okay, we won. Sure. We won 2021 or 22, I can't remember. We won best personal injury firm voted on by the readers of the newspaper here. And we were very careful to make sure that we said we were voted on as the best law firm. We never put we are the best law firm. That would not
We are good.
be.
We are good.
Read the reviews. We didn't talk about that last
Yeah,
spot.
so that's one of the things. Yeah, I went through and if you have time, please do so. I read through all of our reviews, 108 reviews.
You read through all of them?
I wanted to kind of pick up on what was and the main premise was they communicated well. They got the job done. They promised, what they promised, they delivered. Those were the things that I kept reading. But it went back to what I was saying in the first part, which is that we want to be personable. So I felt like we accomplished that goal through reading the reviews.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
I mean, if you pull up even just personal injury lawyers on Google, you're going to just be inundated with different law firms, and there are a ton of law firms. A lot are local here in Myrtle Beach, but then you have larger regional and national law firms that are also here in Myrtle Beach. And I'm not going to cast aspersions on anyone, but the things that you want to look for in terms of when you're looking at attorney advertising is are the reviews, do they say communicate? Are the attorneys communicating with the client? Because that is so incredibly important, because the lawyer needs to be communicating with the client. While our paralegals and other staff are going to be communicating with the client, it can't stop there. Will and I have to be the primary person that the client is speaking with. Otherwise, you're not getting you're not getting personal service, which
Yeah.
is what we love to give to our clients.
That's what y'all are all about? Okay, well, we're going to keep following the rules when it comes to advertising for you guys. But right after the break, we're going to have a special guest for our community spotlights. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Living Local Carolina. I've been hanging out with the guys from Beach Injury Lawyers, and we're now going to be doing our community spotlight. And now we're joined by Stephanie from Ground Zero. How are you doing?
I'm well, I hope you are.
I'm so glad to be sitting down, getting to know you a little bit better. How do you know the guys from Beach Injury Lawyers?
Well, they called and invited us to the show. Will is very familiar with the organization, so here we are.
Love it. Okay, what do you do with Ground Zero, and what are you guys all about?
So we are administrative middle school and high school students, and I am in the position of doing fundraising, which puts me smack dab in the middle of almost everything that happens in the community.
Wow, interesting. I hear there are some fun events coming up with the Dragon Boat specifically.
Yes, it is the 17th annual Dragon Boat Festival this year, and we are so excited. We've got so many community partners, both in sponsors and in teams coming aboard, pun intended. We have about 1,200 paddlers that are going to be participating. So overall, at that festival, during the day at Market Common, we are told that there are between 8,000 and 10,000 local folks that come out. So it's important to remember this is a local festival. So for our businesses, this is a great way to, at the beginning of the season, kind of push your name out there for limited marketing dollars.
Very cool. Guys, are you going to be doing it?
I've done it in the past. I have.
Let me put you on the spot here.
I had an injured shoulder. I competed with F3. We came in, we lost by half a second, and I was
Really?
I was crushed.
Clearly.
But with my injured shoulder, I'm not sure. I have contemplated it. I'm making a decision right now about whether I'm going to. But it's such a fun time.
It is.
I mean,
and
my kids love it.
Yeah, the reason that we have the Dragon Boat Festival, this is our largest fundraiser. Although, even though we do raise a lot of money, it's still only about 23 to 24% of our overall operating budget. So we are completely reliant upon donations, relationships with donors, and business partnerships for our operating. It's important to keep those doors open because those students, I don't know if you guys remember your teenage years. You remember your teenage years?
It's been a minute, but
Ask
I do.
my mom.
Right.
It's rough. And to have a place where you can come, decompress, have free food, hang out with your friends, play games. We have a live DJ there every Wednesday night. It's just a safe place to go.
And it is a cool venue. As an adult, it is a cool venue.
It is a very cool venue. Lots of colors, lots of areas where you can, you know, people call them hidey holes, where you can kind of just get away with your friends and have one-on-one conversations. We have every electronic game you could imagine. So it's just a great place to go. And we rely on mentors and volunteers to staff the place. And they're building relationships with our students as well. So the students know every single week when they come in, there's going to be adults there who want to hear about their week. They want to know when their sports practices and games are so they can attend. It's that village mentality. We need to pour in to the next generation of students in a way that's healthy for them.
That's so huge.
Yeah, that's
Especially
a critical
when you're a
time period.
teenager.
It is. It's rough. Yeah.
Well, Greg, are you going to be doing the Dragon Boats?
What I was going to say is one will not be participating in the Dragon Boat.
Because of his shoulder, not because
There's
he's
lots of ways to
scared.
participate.
Yeah, my participation is I'm always happy to make a donation when I will sit in my chair and I will watch from the
good.
shore, and
Good.
that's pretty much where my participation.
Well, you can also
is.
dance. We have great music there.
You don't want me to
Okay,
dance.
there will be
So-
music, there will be dancing,
yes.
there will be Dragon Boats.
There will be lots of food. We have 80 vendors.
That's what I was
this
going to
year.
ask
We
about.
also have a family fun zone that's
Okay.
highlighting inflatables for kids. It is a family-friendly event. It goes all day.
Absolutely.
It's the largest festival that Market Common sees all year long.
Get there early to park. It's a good for companies, I think, for like team building. It was such I had just met the guys from F3, and after that event, I felt like I had known them for years.
Yeah.
If you win, you end up doing 3 or 4 races. I mean, so you really you learn about each other.
Love it. Okay, well,
Yeah,
where
it's
can people
great.
learn more information and get tickets and stuff like that?
If you go to mygroundzero.com, it is a free event for attendees. And if you call me at 614-270-7707, I'll tell you everything you need to know about being a part of the Dragon Boat Festival.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate it.
Thank you both.
All right, guys.
And we'll be
Give
looking
your
for that
plug
donation.
too.
Oh, we're going to be, don't worry, I got you. I got you.
So you can contact us at 843-357-4111 or
www.beachinjurylawyers.com.
The preceding portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Beach Injury Lawyers.